We're going to call the meeting to order. As a courtesy to everyone, please take a moment to ensure your devices are shut off and won't make any noises to start the meeting, please. Thank you. Good evening and welcome to the meeting of the Mayor and Common Council of Westminster Incorporated, February 5th of 1819. We are gathered here at historic historic City Hall, originally an estate built in 1842 by Colonel John K. Longwell. The city acquired the building in 1939 and has since been the venue where the mayor and council conducts the city's business. Now we'll begin, as we do every meeting, with a pledge to the flag, followed by a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. One interesting fact about Westminster: in 1850, on the site formerly occupied by a tanning yard and shop, the International Order of Odd Fellows planned a building that was completed in 1854 for their meetings. By 1858, the building was also used and became more commonly known as the Westminster Opera House. It was a cultural hub hosting plays, concerts, soirees, and community events. During the Civil War, it was used as a headquarters for the Union's 150th Infantry Provost Guard out of New York. In 1906, a devastating fire destroyed the building, sending shockwaves through the town. Though the Opera House was never rebuilt, the loss sparked a new and renewed focus on fire safety and helped lead to modernization of Westminster's fire service as well as codes pertaining to fire safety. The building that stands in that location now was named the Opera House, but is not actually the same building. The original building was all wood, and the building there now, of course, is brick. So while the name lives on, the building standing there today is a different structure built later and repurposed over time. Moving on, the council typically convenes on the second and fourth Monday of each month. Please note that these meetings are open to the public here at City Hall and are also streamed live on the city's YouTube page, as well as the Community Media Center channel and website. We extend our gratitude to the Media Center for their partnership in ensuring public access to these meetings. Copies of tonight's agenda and the entire information packet that the council will be using are available online at the city's website. Hard copies of the agenda are available here in the front of the room for those in attendance on that chair. First, I'm going to start with two closed sessions. Statement for the record: closed meeting of Monday, December 8th, 2025. In accordance, I apologize. We are not going to start with closed meetings. I remembered I want to amend our agenda slightly, if everyone is okay with that, to do something very important. Since Doug isn't here, I feel like I can get away with that without getting in too much trouble. So we are going to actually move one item up that is later in the agenda, and that is a resolution for us to work on, and that is the resolution number 2608. And that resolution is of the Mayor and Common Council of Westminster, thanking Council Member Ann Gilbert for her service in the Westminster City Council and her contributions to the Westminster community. May I have a motion to approve this resolution?
Motion to approve.
Do I have a second? Second. So it's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? I'm going to read it after. We're going to vote on it first to make sure we're okay with it. Hearing no discussion, I'm going to call for a vote. I will be voting this evening since there are only three of us here. We need to make sure we have a quorum. All those in favor of adoption of resolution 2608, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it, and the resolution is passed. Now, Councilman Dayhoff, if you would be so kind, would you please stand up and read the resolution to Ms. Gilbert?
Thank you.
Gilbert, you wouldn't mind joining him up there while he reads it to you? But you don't have to.
So this is resolution number 2608, thanking Council Member Ann Gilbert for her service on the Westminster Common Council and her contributions to the Westminster community. Whereas Ann Thomas Gilbert was first elected to the Westminster Common Council on May 14th, 2019, and subsequently re-elected on May 9th, 2023. Whereas Council Member Gilbert is currently the chairperson of the city's Personnel and Parks and Recreation Committee and vice chair of the Technology Committee. In the past 6 years, she has also chaired the Public Works and co-chaired the Safety Committee. Councilmember Gilbert served as a member of the Governor's Crisis Intervention Team Center of Excellence, Collaborative Planning and Implementation Committee from 2023 to 2025. She is a member of the Comptroller's Women's Empowerment Council from 2023 to 2025 and was on the MML Conference Planning Committee for 2024 to 2025. And whereas Councilmember Gilbert consistently demonstrated warmth and kindness in her dealings with members of the city staff, regularly thanking them for their hard work and dedication. And whereas Councilmember Gilbert placed a strong emphasis on constituent service and reaching out to community groups and organizations and spearheaded 2020 Year of the Woman initiatives. And whereas Councilmember Gilbert helped to reimagine services through the COVID pandemic of 2020 to support the needs of our community and partnered with Carroll County Food Sunday to help meet the needs of food insecure families. And whereas Councilmember Gilbert retired as a council member of the Westminster Mayor and Common Council on December the 31st, 2025, after approximately 6 years of service. And whereas Councilmember Gilbert has been both a colleague and a friend who will be missed by her colleagues on the Common Council, the employees of the City of Westminster, and the citizens of the City of Westminster and Carroll County. Now therefore be it resolved that Westminster Mayor, Dr. Mona Becker, Westminster Common Council President Tony Cavacci, and Council members Greg Pecoraro, Kevin Dayhoff, and Dan Huff of the Common Council of the City of Westminster, Maryland, hereby extends its sincere appreciation to Ann Gilbert and her contributions and dedicated commitment to the betterment of the Westminster community. Thank you. There you go.
Thank you very much.
Great, you have the floor.
I have the floor, and you know I come prepared somewhat.
You always did.
So since this is my last time here, it has truly been a privilege and honor to serve the residents of the City of Westminster. I've been deeply grateful. I did not think I was going to cry. I've been deeply grateful for the opportunity to work alongside my fellow council members, dedicated city staff, and community stakeholders in advancing the interest of our city. The decision comes after careful consideration and mainly due to financial implications if I continued service, which was basically the inability to collect my pension and increased insurance costs. I have concluded that stepping away from the council is the best interest of my family and myself at this time. I'm especially proud of several initiatives and new directions undertaken collectively by this council during my tenure. By listening to residents, we changed the course of the community gym, preserved the clock tower, reimagined the pool, and launched the long-term legacy project of Wakefield Valley Park, an investment that will continue to benefit Westminster for generations to come, and many more decisions for the council at the time in the future. I'm also proud to have supported and learned from the projects that continue today, including Pure Water Westminster. The accomplishments of this council over the past 6 years are many, from navigating global pandemics to advancing critical infrastructure and community projects, all of which I really had no idea I was really going to get into, including a pandemic. I also somehow squeezed in completing the MML certification through the Academy for Excellence in the Local Governance. While this chapter of public service is coming to a close, along with several others apparently in the ending of 2025, my commitment to Westminster and our county remains strong. I continue to believe deeply in the value of public service, and I remain open to opportunities to serve our community again in the future, should the time and circumstances be right. I firmly believe God places us at certain opportunities and places for a reason sometimes unknown to us at the time, but understood later. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayhoff. I appreciate you reading that and frankly authoring a good bit of that. So we're appreciative. Ms. Gilbert, I think on behalf of all of us, highly thank you for the work and effort you did. I know you certainly were a solid counterbalance to me many times when it came to especially social issues and things. So I was grateful for that. Okay, we're going to move on. I'm going to read a statement for the record about a closed meeting on December 8th, 2025, in accordance with the general provisions of Article Section 3-306, subsection C2, the annotated Code of Maryland, and without objection, it is noted that the minutes of tonight's meeting reflect that the Common Council met in a closed meeting on Monday, December 8th, 2025, at 4:04 p.m. pursuant to the General Provisions Article Section 3-305B1 to discuss the appointment, employment, assignment, promotion, discipline, demotion, compensation, removal, resignation, or performance evaluation of appointees, employees over officials whom this body has jurisdiction, and other personnel matters that affect one or more specific individuals, and subsection B7 to consult with counsel to obtain legal advice. The Common Council took no official action during this meeting. The closed meeting adjourned at 4:10 p.m. Second closed meeting took place the same day, December 8th, in accordance with the general provisions of Article Section 3-306C2 of the Annotated Code of Maryland. And without objection, it is noted that the minutes of tonight's meeting reflect the Common Council met in a closed meeting on Monday, December 8th, 2025 at 8:31 p.m. pursuant to the identical articles and sections listed previously, the previous closed meeting that day I just read. The Common Council took no official action during the meeting and the closed meeting adjourned at 9:04 p.m. We have one presentation this evening that will be from Magic, Ms. Kim Samuelson, Executive Director. The floor is yours.
Good evening, everyone. I hope you've had a great holiday. This is our downtime. The December timeframe gives us a chance to reset and get ready for the next year because we are going to have a busy year again. So the mission of Magic is to build that tech ecosystem that fosters innovation, talent, and we use these three pillars to do that: incubation, education, and innovation. We do that by supporting our local entrepreneurs. These are the various programs that we have currently that we are using. 1 Million Cups, which is very popular, which brings local business people together to see what's going on in the community, how the community can help them. Startup Lab, we're happy to announce that we have our second cohort starting at the end of the month. So we have 6 local new businesses and entrepreneurs going through that program. That will last all year long, so we should have a final cohort by the end of the year. Our startup and incubation support, which we do daily and ongoing for businesses that come to us. We've gone through several new businesses in the last 6 to 8 months, and they are on their way to actually either becoming a real business, filing for their LLCs, being in the community as far as like opening offices here. Our Westminster Angel Network, which we bring investors together with these entrepreneurs to help get them some funding to continue on with their work. And something we're really excited about is we just were approved to be part of the Entrepreneur Support Network, which is a Maryland-based thing. It's a partnership with Upsurge Baltimore. So that will allow us to have resources through other businesses and entrepreneurs through the whole region so that we can talk about what Westminster can bring to that table. And hopefully we can sort of help bring some more entrepreneurship to our location. Our impact, again, we have a group of 6 starting our startup lab cohort this year. We have incubated about 26 entrepreneur connections this year. And we have also started 3 upscaling networks. And upscaling is taking young businessmen, business people and adults and changing and giving them additional training on what they would need to make their business a success. We also have finished some agreements with 2 engineering companies to do some R&D here in Westminster. One is for people with developmental difficulties, and then the other one is actually some AI. So they'll be doing some research here in downtown Westminster out of our R&D facility. Technology education, we're still continuing on that mission that we feel is really important in today's work world. Cybersecurity, which is the #1 thing that we do. Robotics and AI, we're teaching a wide range of concepts, engineering, autonomy, AI integration, all these things combined with real world activity. Everything involves technology today, and our workforce has to be ready for that. Business and entrepreneurship teaches young people, young adults, how to process their ideas and actually make something successful out of it. Community connections, we're kind of really proud. We have all of the students that we've had in our robotics and AI classes come together as a cohort, and we are actually working on a community project for the Carroll Arts Council. So one of the things, I don't know if anybody knows about the Peep Show. If you're from Westminster, you know about it. They go through 150,000 coins during that whole episode. They have no way to actually count them and bag them. So it's all done manually right now. So that's something we're working on. And also our Makerspace program, which is new. So it utilizes all of our Makerspace equipment. We have laser printers, laser cutters, and 3D printers that we are utilizing for startups and engineering prototyping. Our impact so far for the last 2 quarters, we have served about 250 students. We've engaged mentors and community partners. Right now, we have an 80% retention rate on our students. They keep coming back and we keep moving them. So every year we're trying to put in more advanced learning for them to keep them going. So, and we also have 1 part-time instructor that we use that we have in partnership with Workforce Development. So they're getting experience with instruction and teaching as they're working on their final degrees in education. So there's a good synergy there. We have received in-kind. We just upgraded all of our computers through Carroll County Public Libraries. So that was a big thing for us because in order to teach what's going on now, we need current equipment, and they help us solve that problem. And our community commitment. So we do networking events, technology partnerships, educational partnerships, and commerce connections. This builds that tech ecosystem. So we're teaching the kids, we're getting them into a position where they can go to college. Hopefully they come back from college and actually start their businesses here, work here with Workforce, work with our local partners. So that ecosystem is, cylindrical. So these are just a couple of pictures of the different things that we do. We did sponsor a robotic carnival a couple months ago. So we actually rethought a carnival and we used our robots and AI equipment to actually do that. Everybody had a great
I
time.
bet you got a different demographic than what Reese pulls.
Yes, we actually did. These are the geeks of the community, right? So and it all, like, we rethought the turtle races. So we actually had our students take one of our robots. They actually 3D designed, engineered, and built a 3D printed model of a turtle to attach to our robot. So that we had robot races with our turtles. So, but it helps them think outside the box. By the numbers, so far this year, we are about 134,000 in funding. Projected funding by the end of this fiscal year is $229,000, a little under what we were last year. We've had to tighten our belts as well as everybody else recently with funding and some redistribution of funding that we had previously gotten. But we're still doing the mission and we're still making it work. So, and then measuring successes, all of our fall classes. Sorry, I was still coming down from my cold. So that should actually save registrations for the spring. So we actually have our spring classes almost full already. So, and they'll start sometime in February. Our makerspace workshops and open houses have been a success. We've had probably close to 100, 150 people come through our door. And every person that comes through our door learns something new about Westminster and what we have here. We're finalizing agreements, like I said, with 2 local entrepreneurs to support R&D projects from within our facility and our startup lab. And then we're working with our local Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, and Boys and Girls Club to promote the tech ecosystem here. Looking forward, we're actually coming up to our Capture the Flag 20. So we've been doing this for quite a few years, yeah. And the success is just getting better. Magic turns 10 this year. So we actually are turning 10. So we've been around for 10 and hopefully we'll be around for 10 more. I think as we start developing these different projects, they become synonymous with our community. People are actually noticing the name. They're actually knowing they can come to Westminster and get this kind of tech support and tech education that they wouldn't normally get elsewhere. Spring classes, our makerspace workshops, community projects that we're working on. And we are piloting some new startup development workshops in conjunction with Workforce Development and Carroll Tech Innovation Council. Mainly AI, because that's the big thing today, and how we can integrate it into everyday jobs and work. So that's it. Thank you. Any questions? Do we have any questions?
Mr. President.
Yeah, Madam Mayor.
Not so much a question, but Ms. Samuelson, I am continually impressed. I think by the quarterly reports that we bring from Magic and just the continued growth of the organization. I don't, 10 years. So I was going to ask that actually as a question. So I'm glad that you mentioned that. Because of course I think, I remember when Magic first started. When I was on the council. And so I think, just seeing the growth of the organization has just been really fantastic.
Well, and it's become a mission for me. I mean, I've been here for 8 years. I started out as a volunteer in a little 2-room above Jean Bird Bakery. That's kind of where we started out. And this is what we've accomplished today. But the world needs what we're doing. I mean, and our community needs what we're doing.
So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. President.
Yes, sir.
And if I just note that the reason why we have these quarterly reports from Magic is because the city 10 years ago founded the
Yes.
organization and continues to provide significant financial support towards its mission. And we are your biggest booster.
Yes, you are our biggest booster and we appreciate it immensely. We couldn't do what we do for the constituency that we have here without the support from the city. Technology is not inexpensive. And, we picked one of those things that is expensive to teach, right? But it's something that the community needs.
But it provides a lot of benefits to the city. And of course, it helps highlight, the Westminster Fiber Network, which was the original reason why we did this. And it's given us something to, as statewide elected officials that visited Westminster, it gives us something that we always want to show people. What's happening at
I'll share with you a situation. I went to the legislative kickoff that the chamber provided last week. And I had met a couple of Maryland delegates and they know our name now. They know that the city of Westminster is here and what we provide. So it was mentioned and we were recognized. So that to me is a big thing.
You guys are definitely our #1 show pony.
Anytime you need a tour, we're there.
It's true. It's true. Sorry.
Go ahead, Mr. Dayhoff.
I wanted to echo the mayor's remarks and also council member Greg's Pecorari's remarks. I've also really been impressed with the vertical integration into the community. That's one of the visions of my predecessors who put this together. 10 years ago, and I really appreciate that. I get a lot of feedback about that.
Good.
And I also hear about magic throughout the state.
Thank you.
That makes me very proud.
Well, it's good to hear because again, it started with this council, right? With an idea
Yeah.
on how to promote this.
Well, the predecessors, most of the folks sitting here at the desk.
Right.
Yeah, they did a great job with leadership bringing that forward. So
Right. It's always good to hear.
I
Thank you.
really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for all your work.
Thank you, Mr. Dayhoff.
Thank you.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and move on. The next thing we have up this evening is the confirmation of the mayor's appointment of 3 members to the Board of Elections. Mr. Robert Peoples Jr., Amanda McGuire, and James Kuntz. May I have a motion to confirm the mayor's recommendation to appointment of Peoples, McGuire, and Kuntz to the Board of Elections?
So moved, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Pecoraro. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Dayhoff. Is there any discussion? Madam Mayor, would you like to say anything about your recommendations or?
Yeah, I would just like to, they couldn't attend this evening, but, Mr. Peoples and Mrs. McGuire were previous members of the Board of Elections. Mr. Coons is a new appointment for the Board of Elections. And so I think that I would like to thank them for their service as we need them moving forward, and thank the council for their support.
I agree, madam. A very important role. Okay, hearing no more discussion, we'll move on with a vote. All in favor of confirming the mayor's appointment, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it, and your appointment is confirmed, Madam Mayor.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
We have no public hearings this evening. We do, of course, have a special guest from McDaniel College, as has been the tradition for a number of years now. Under the leadership of President Julia Jeneskin, McDaniel has sent representatives to our council meetings during the school year to foster a close and meaningful relationship with the city. This evening, we have David Sears. You are the director of the foundation, or?
Vice President of Advancement.
Close
enough.
I didn't write it down here. I am
All good.
sorry, David. You've been with us a couple of times before. It's wonderful to see you back
Thank
here. So if you'd like to make a couple of comments, please feel free.
Sure. Just to let you know how things are going at the college. We're pleased to announce that the federal government provided federal funding of $830,000 for our new nursing facility over at the hospital. So we're excited about that. We're also pleased to say that we have a $50 million capital campaign going on at this time. That was to run from 2023 through 2028. This week, we hit the $50.5 million mark, 2.5 years ahead of schedule. Thanks to not two, but 3 $1 million gift commitments on December 29th, 2 of which came from local community members. So we're very pleased about that.
Nobody more than you for jobs.
Absolutely. The campaign won't stop though. We still have many projects still to fund. So we'll continue through to 2028. I suspect we'll probably end up in the $65-70 million range by the end of all of it. That money is doing great things, not just for the college, but for the community. So we've been able to renovate Harvey Stone Pavilion. That is available now for community members to reserve if they want to do a party up there, any kind of outdoor educational learning opportunities, et cetera, and other things.
Yeah. The kind of parties we used to have.
Hopefully all of you saw that our new track, our green and gold track, was completed in the late fall. And that again is also available for community use, whether it's a high school track meet. We'll do 2 track meets this spring out there that we would love for high school students and others to come out and see the teams. And we actually also have new lockers in our locker rooms in the Gill Stadium. Our Carroll County Scholars Program is off to another terrific start. We have received the most applications ever for the program. That's where students in the school system apply to be in this program, and then that helps them to get a $100,000 scholarship to attend McDaniel. Our athletic teams are doing great. Both basketball teams and our wrestling teams have been in the national polls, and hopefully that will continue for the rest of the year. And we have a scholarship luncheon coming up in March. The reason I mention this is that the we'll highlight Lynn Wheeler. I think many of you may know Lynn. And the Board of Beneficence, they have been giving a scholarship to McDaniel College for over 100 years. So everything else is going well at the college, and the new semester will start in 2 weeks. So it's going to be a little quiet here for a while till the students come back. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Mr. Sears. That's quite impressive. Those numbers that you pulled already, and you've got a couple more years left on that campaign. You got to be really proud.
I've got good help from people like Chip Junkins.
There you go. Chip's fantastic. Anybody have any questions?
Yeah, Mr.
Madam Mayor?
President. Not so much a question, but if you could please take back to the campus community, the large joy sign at the end.
Oh, yeah.
of Main Street. I noticed it came down very recently. I was a little disappointed in
Yeah.
it, but it really sort of we have our lights on Main Street and we haven't been able to extend lights to that part of Main Street yet. And I think having that right at the top of the hill there in front of the admissions building really helped to tie things together. And it made me smile every time I drove up the hill there and saw that. So please take my thanks back to the campus community and the President's Council for that. I thought that was just such a great addition to the holiday period.
Yeah, that was part of our Out of Darkness event to be able to add more of that lighting. And unfortunately, the windstorm hit the joy sign and knocked it down.
That's
if
what.
we can keep it up longer, we will definitely do that.
That's what happened. Okay, yeah, and I did enjoy the campus as well. The lights on the campus this year were really, really nice.
That was great.
They were beautiful. My wife and I went and walked up there when it was snowing one evening, and it was like a movie. I actually took a selfie and sent it to Joy.
Oh,
It was great. Anybody else have anything? All right, we'll continue on. Now we'll move on to approval of minutes. We have two sets of minutes to consider this evening. Minutes from the Mayor and Council special meeting minutes of December 8th, 2025, and Mayor and Common Council meeting minutes of December 8th, 2025. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion to approve.
Motion from Mr. Dayhoff. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pecoraro. Is there any discussion relative to the minutes? Hearing none, all those in favor of approval of the minutes, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. I mean, we only have 3 years.
That's all alone.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the ayes have it, and the minutes are approved. We have 3 items on the consent calendar this evening. Is there a motion to approve the consent calendar?
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Mr. Dayhoff. We have a second by Mr. Huff. You guys are working hard this evening.
Mr. Pecoraro.
Mr. Pecoraro, is there any discussion? I apologize. All those in favor of approving the consent calendar, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it, and the consent calendar is approved. Now, we'll move on to reports from the mayor. Madam Mayor.
All right, thank you, Mr. President. I hope everyone had a wonderful and enjoyable holiday season. Since we last met on December 8th of last year, the end of the year was really filled with a few holiday events. I and Melanie attended a holiday reception at the governor's residence and also a holiday party at the Estonian embassy in honor of our sister city in Estonia, Paide. The final MML chapter dinner was held on December 11th in 20town and was well attended. We were fortunate to have MML President Todd Knott, Pocomoke City, in attendance, as well as Congressman Johnny Olszewski, who also spoke during the evening. Outside of those few events, the month was quiet, and as we have started 2026, I'm excited to have the Wakefield Valley Event Center, and I'm looking forward to the next phase of work at the park. I'm looking forward to many of our Main Street events, bringing new visitors and residents alike to our beautiful city. The Pure Water Westminster project is underway, and I'm looking forward to completion of that project in 2027. And as we enter the new year, I think I can confidently say that Westminster has something to offer everyone. And I will just keep it as short as that, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor. We'll now move on to committee reports. And Madam Mayor, you're up first with the Arts Council.
I don't have much for an Arts Council report. We haven't met for the new year yet. We've changed our meeting time to Wednesday meetings, which was better suited to individual schedules. So we'll meet a little bit later this month. I do want to report that the documentary film series is in full swing throughout the month of January, and the foreign film series will start in February.
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor. Economic and Community Development, Mr. Huff isn't here this evening. He's got some things he's dealing with. Couldn't make it to the meeting tonight. I'm vice. There is no report. Finance Committee, Mr. Pecoraro.
Thank you, Mr. President. We do not have a report this evening. The committee will be meeting soon.
Okay, thank you very much. And then do you have anything for Personnel Committee?
I do.
Okay. Public Safety Committee, I do have a brief report. Let me pull it up here. On December 25th, 2025, the Westminster Police Department Sergeant Ray Aib and PFC Bogan, along with members of the Carroll County Sheriff's Office, demonstrated exceptional courage and teamwork during a residential structure fire. Despite a rapidly deteriorating and life-threatening conditions, the officers acted without hesitation, evacuating all residents and a family pet from the burning home prior to arrival of the fire department personnel. Their decisive actions directly saved lives and exemplify the outstanding bravery and professionalism and unwavering commitment to public safety. So that's quite heroic, and I think we're all very proud of them for such bravery. Okay, we'll continue moving on. Next up will be Works Committee, Mr. Pecoraro.
Thank you, Mr. President. I don't have anything to share except we did receive a very nice note I wanted to make you all aware of from a citizen regarding traffic calming on Ridge Road. It was addressed to Steve Strasberg, who is supervisor of our streets department. It said, "Hello, Mr. Strasberg. I wanted to write to express our appreciation for the relocation of one stop sign, the addition of another, and today the placement of new stop lines at both. This is the primary entrance to this neighborhood from New Windsor, and it sees a lot of traffic. It's also a heavily used pedestrian intersection with students and professors, dog walkers, joggers, and others. We also have at least 8 school buses that pass through the intersection Monday through Friday. We hope these changes encourage people to be more deliberate and respectful in their driving habits. Thank you again for your department's fast response. We're new to Westminster and Maryland, well, 4 years ago anyway, and we've been absolutely awed by the novel efficiency and responsiveness of the city services here. Never seen anything like it. Kudos to all." Signed by Rob Peoples.
Very nice.
Okay, so then we'll move on to Recreation and Parks Committee. Mr. Dayhoff, do you have anything?
No, sir.
Okay, Technology Committee, Mr. Dayhoff.
No report this evening.
Thank you very much. And then Intergovernmental, Mr. Huff isn't here. Mr. Pecoraro, do you have anything?
I do not.
All right. We'll move on to council comments and discussion. Mr. Pecoraro.
Nothing this evening, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. Mr. Dayhoff.
The police officers involved literally ran into a burning building at 3 o'clock in the morning. It was absolutely acceptable. It really was. I really enjoyed the joy sign. Are you going to put it back up, Mr. Sears?
Yes.
Mr. Sears? Good. Good. I really enjoyed that. I go through that intersection about 10 times a day. So I really appreciate it. That'll be my report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Dayhoff. I have nothing. No bids this evening. We have 4, because we've already done one, ordinances and resolutions this evening. So we will move past 2608 because we've already handled that one. So we'll move on to introduction of ordinance number 2601. Mr. Whitworth.
Good evening, Mr. President. The first is introduction of resolution number 2601, annexation 88, Route 309 LLC. The petition for annexation enlarging the corporate boundaries of the city of Westminster by annexing into the city certain property containing plus or minus 2.49 acres contiguous and adjoining to the city's existing corporate boundaries, consisting of real property identified as tax account number 07-111932, map 0045, grid 0015, parcel 0539.
Thank you very much, sir. Now we'll move on to Director of Community Planning and Development, Mr. Depot, for some information about this.
Thank you. So again, Route 309 LLC is the petitioner, and they are proposing to annex 2.49 acres of land. The property is currently undeveloped. The petitioner is proposing to construct above-ground propane distribution tanks in an office building for Great Valley Propane. The property right now, it's located at the terminus of McGregor Road and along New Windsor Road. It's right next to Pub Dog, just north of Pub Dog. The mayor and common council may enlarge the boundaries of the city of Westminster as provided in the annotated code of Maryland. Pursuant to the city water and sewer allocation policy, owners of properties located outside city limits but inside the water sewer service areas that are eligible for annexation under state law who desire to connect to the city's public water system or require additional allocation must be annexed into the city to be eligible to apply for water allocation. This property is located outside the city limits, but inside the water and sewer service areas and is eligible for annexation under state law. The property is not currently being served by public water and sewer. The annexation area is zoned I-2 Heavy Industrial District and under the zoning laws of Carroll County. The petitioner is requesting that the property be zoned IR Restricted Industrial Zone under the city zoning ordinance. Development in the IR zone is substantially similar to development in the I-2 Heavy Industrial District of the county. With that, staff recommend that the Mayor and Common Council introduce Resolution 2601 for Annexation 88, allowing the annexation process to begin.
Thank you very much, Mr. Depot. And this is an introduction, correct?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I mistakenly said adoption earlier when I read that, so I apologize. Okay, do we have this on the floor? Then we can have some discussion if necessary. Do I have a motion for the introduction of 2601?
So moved, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Pecoraro. Do I have a second?
I'll second the motion
Thank you
for
very much,
introduction.
Mr. Huff.
Mr.
God, Mighty, I am really struggling this evening, aren't I? Thank you, Mr. Day Huff. Okay, is there any discussion related to this item?
Mr. President.
Madam Mayor?
Mr. Depot, I think you said it, but I missed it, and then I went back to look. Is there currently anything on that property site?
It's vacant.
Okay,
It's undeveloped.
okay, thank you.
They do have a site plan. They're working through the site plan process under the county regulations. And ultimately, it would be annexed in the city.
Right, thank you.
Great. Thank you very much. Any other discussion related to this? Hearing none, we'll go ahead and call for the vote. All those in favor of introduction of Resolution 2601, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it, and the resolution is introduced. Next up will be Resolution 2606, and is that an adoption or
Yes, sir.
resolution? It is adoption, right?
Thank you all.
I got that one right. Thank you very much. So this will be adoption of Resolution 2606. Mr. Whitworth.
Thank you, Mr. President. Resolution number 2606 is a resolution of the Mayor and Common Council of Westminster amending the city's general fee schedule for governmental and proprietary functions of the city with respect to fees charged for use of summer camps and family fitness center.
Okay, thank you very much. Miss Gerber. It was like I was drinking before this meeting, but I swear to God, I was not.
It's okay, I answer to almost anything.
I've not been sleeping well. So.
Good evening. Due to rising material and supply costs, the resolution before you this evening proposes adjustments to our summer camp fees and introduces a new membership classification for the Family Fitness Center. The proposed summer camp fees will offset inflationary operating costs for the 2026 season. Each weekly camp fee will increase by $10 per camper, and weekly before and after care rates will increase by $5 per camper per session. So currently our rates were $180 for weekly camp tuition for city residents and $209 for non-residents. Counselors in training were $99 for city residents and $119 for non-residents. And our before and after care cost across the board were $15 per session per day. The new fees contemplate weekly camp tuition rates of $190 for city residents, $219 for non-city residents, $109 for counselors in training for city residents, $129 for non-residents for counselors in training, and our before and after care cost would rise to $20 per camper per session per day. In addition to these fee increases, we also detected some redundancy in our Westminster Family Fitness Center membership costs. And in order to streamline those rates that we had a single parent with childcare for $54 for city residents and $59 for non-residents. We had a single college student with childcare for $44 and $49 per month respectively. And we also had an individual adult membership with a youth membership for $44 for city residents and $49 for non-city residents. And so I was actually putting together a new way to present our fees and recognize that this was maybe not making sense. Because each of these classifications covers one adult and one child, yet they were priced very similarly to a family membership that includes up to 2 adults and 4 youth. So in order to streamline this, the change eliminates, as I indicated, the redundant categories and uses clearer language than single. And it results in one membership category that would basically be one adult plus one, which would be one adult plus one childcare membership or one adult with a youth membership, resulting in membership fees of $44 per month for a city resident or $49 per month for a non-resident. So with all of that being said, the staff recommendation is that the Mayor and Common Council adopt resolution number 2606 to adjust the summer camp fees for our 2026 season and add the new Family Fitness Center membership classification. That concludes my report, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay, does anybody have any questions for Ms. Gruber?
Let's introduce it first. I make a motion.
Oh, we did not get this on the floor already. I apologize. So yeah, let's do that first. So let's have a motion.
With the finance chair, like we do.
I move the adoption of resolution number 2606.
Thank you very much. And
I'll second it, sir.
Mr. Dayhuff with the second. Okay, now we can have some discussion. Go ahead, Madam Mayor.
Ms. Gruber, I just want to make sure to clarify. So the single parent with childcare is currently 54 resident and 59 for non-resident.
Correct.
So that price for an individual will actually drop $10 with the new rates. Is that correct?
Yes.
And then also this does not affect just as a clarification, this does not affect the family membership
That is
rates.
correct.
They are remaining the same.
Correct.
Thank you.
Any other discussion?
Mr. President.
Yes, sir.
When I was a single dad, I really appreciated the individual with a child. That was a huge help. I really appreciate it. Mr. President, a second question. Are we still going to work on consolidating this into the budget process? Because we have fee schedules all over the place. Mr. Pereira, do you remember that conversation?
Mr. President, thank you. So I would just say that we regularly review all of the fees, that the city charges for a variety of things, and as we do so, those fees are incorporated into the budget. And of course, as the finance committee considers all those, we bring them directly to the council for final.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Dayhuff. Hearing no more discussion, we'll move on to a vote. All those in favor of adoption of ordinance number 2606, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it, and the ordinance number 2606 is adopted, and you have your fees, Ms. Gruber. We'll now move on to adoption of resolution number 2605. Mr. Whitworth.
Yes, sir. The adoption of resolution number 2605, which is a resolution of the Mayor and Common Council of Westminster declaring a vacancy on the Common Council and establishing the process and timeline to fill the vacancy. In place of City Clerk Barber, I believe City Administrator Imholz is available to provide additional information.
City Administrator Imholz.
Thank you, sir. Resolution 2605, as the city attorney indicated declares the vacancy on the Common Council and the framework for establishing the process and a timeline to fill the vacancy. The staff is recommending adoption. Would you like me to read it? If so, I'm happy to do so. That's the only update we have from staff.
I don't think that's necessary unless anyone else here would like to. We all have it in our packet.
That concludes the staff report then.
Thank you very much. May I have a motion to adopt ordinance 2605?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Dayhoff. Do I have a second?
Second,
Thank you, Mr. Pecoraro. Is there any discussion related to 2605?
Mr. President,
Mr. Pecoraro.
just since we didn't read it, I just note that the resolution establishes an application deadline of Monday, March 9th at 12 p.m., which deadline is at least 10 days prior to the meeting at which the vacancy will be filled as required by the city code.
I think that's important.
And that we will
Yeah.
conduct interviews of certified applicants at the special meeting of the Common Council to be held on Monday, March 16th at 4:30 p.m., which meeting may include a closed session as permitted by law.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pecoraro. Yeah, the only comment I was going to make was to make sure that everyone is clear that there will be an opportunity for folks, if they aren't interested in serving, to put an application in and go through the process. And if they need more information or to know how to go about doing that, to contact the city clerk.
Mr. President,
Yes, ma'am.
applications are available at 45 West between the hours of 8:30 and 4 p.m. We require you to sign a piece of paper that says you pick up an application. Applications are then due at same place, 45 West Main, and along with the filing fee as outlined in the resolution as well.
When the applicant submits the application, do they turn in their financial disclosure information at that time as well?
Yep, so the application packet that an interested person would pick up has an application form. It has, which they will certify that they meet the requirements, namely that you've lived in the city for a year as of a certain date, that you're registered to vote, and that you're over 21. It also will include a financial disclosure form and some additional information about deadlines and things. And then all of that must be submitted accurately by the deadline that Councilmember Pecoraro just announced. They will be certified by two boards, the election board, as well as the ethics board, which looks at the financial disclosure forms. Once they're certified, then they become a certified candidate. And that information will be posted on our website, just like we do for an election process.
Wonderful. I think that's important information. So thank you both, Mr. Pecoraro and Ms. Himholz, for that. Okay, hearing no more discussion, we'll move on to a vote for the adoption of ordinance 2605. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it, and the ordinance is adopted. We'll now move on to the adoption of resolution 2607. Mr. Whitworth.
Yes, sir. Resolution number 2607 is a resolution of the Mayor and Common Council of Westminster making a declaration of official intent regarding the Mayor and Common Council of Westminster's reasonable expectation to reimburse from proceeds of a future borrowing project expenditures made in connection with the project identified herein as the Westminster Water Reuse Project and generally relating thereto. To provide additional information and staff recommendations, City Administrator Himholz.
Take it away.
Take it away.
By letter dated October 6, 2025, the Maryland Water Infrastructure Financing Administration notified the city that it ranked high enough, which is called NWIFA, notified the city that it ranked high enough on their intended use plan to qualify for loan funding for the project generally referred to as the Westminster Water Reuse Project, otherwise known as the project. NWIFA has advised that such loan funding consists of the following maximum principal amounts, subject to increase if the need arises and if loan funding capacity allows. 9 million of loan funds expected to be evidenced by a single tax-exempt general obligation bond to the city, and 7 million of loan funds expected to be evidenced by a single taxable general obligation bond of the city that is subject to principal forgiveness, which I refer to as a grant. Both bonds will be issued by the city on a drawdown basis In order to get to closing on the tax exempt general obligation bond, city will have to have previously paid at least $51,000 of qualifying project expenditures that it seeks to reimburse from the draw made on such bond at closing. The $51,000 minimum is a federal tax code requirement for tax exempt drawdown obligations in the original principal amount of $1 million or more. Under the reimbursement regulations provided of the federal tax code, if the issuer of a tax exempt obligation reasonably expects to pay project expenses from cash prior to using such obligation and to use proceeds of such obligation to reimburse all or a portion of such previously paid project expenses, it must have timely put in place a declaration of official intent where such expenditures must qualify for reimbursement under one of two exceptions provided for in the reimbursement regulations. A declaration of intent is commonly made by a resolution form and is often referred to as a DOOI resolution. The declaration of intent may also be made in other forms. I have advised the city that the city expects to start paying certain expenses for the project in January or February of 2026. As you all know, we've been paying this for a while now, but those expenses in those months, some of which will be reimbursed from the proceeds of the tax exempt general obligation bond expected to be issued by MWIFA. The declaration of intent, which is the resolution in front of you, must do the following. It must express the reasonable expectation of the issuer to reimburse from proceeds of a tax exempt obligation project expenses originally paid from non-borrowed funds prior to issuance of such tax exempt obligation. It must also generally identify the project and state the minimum principal amount of tax exempt obligations expected to be issued for the project as of such time. Once the declaration of intent is effective, which would be tonight if you approve it, it allows the issuer to reimburse from the proceeds of a tax exempt obligation project expenditures originally paid no earlier than 60 days prior to the effective date of the issuance. Of the declaration of intent, subject to certain limitations on how far in advance of reimbursement such expenditures are originally paid. For MWIFA loans, and an issuer may rely preliminary expenditures exception contained in the reimbursement regulations in order to be able to reimburse certain qualifying project expenses without having a declaration in place, which it may not rely on the de minimis exception. I'm almost there, guys. The
Well, I'm not the only one.
Yeah. The declaration of intent resolution before you for adoption does not authorize the issuance of tax exempt general obligation bond project purposes. It merely preserves the city's reimbursement options based on its reasonable expectations. Issuance of the MWIFA of the anticipated tax exempt and taxable general obligations bonds will be authorized and provided for by either an ordinance fixing or providing for the loan details or parameter ordinance followed by a resolution fixing or providing for loan details. I anticipate that ordinance will be coming forward to the council in the next couple of months. I've been working very hard with MDE to finalize the millions of paper that they need in order to issue such a loan. And meanwhile, while we are all aware that the federal budget is moving forward, the city of Westminster does have an earmark in that budget. If that's approved, we would need less of this money. We would still issue the entirety of it, just in case, things go wrong all the time. But it would only be recorded on the books after 2 years of what we actually drew down. Sorry, I mentioned earlier, for those of you that were listening, a drawdown piece of it. So at the end, we'll only draw down however much we need and no more. And that's what will be quote unquote booked once we go through the ordinance process. So this resolution in front of you, as Councilmember Dayhoff mentioned more than a year ago, will allow us to sort of lock in place a date where we can move backwards and capture funds that we've expended already and apply them to the future obligations that will come in front of you whenever it comes in front of you. But we're locking in that date now to preserve that for us. That concludes the staff report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Minister M. Halls. May I have a motion for the adoption of ordinance number 2607?
Motion to approve with delight.
Thank you, Mr. Dayhoff. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Pecoraro. Is there discussion related to this item? I do have one or two questions. So I want to make sure I was clear. So there's a 9 million bond, and then there's a $7 million bond. The $7 million that we can ask for principal forgiveness on that.
$7 million single taxable general obligation bond has to be issued in the form of a bond, but it's 0% interest, and it will be issued in the form of a principal reimbursement. So we don't ask for it later. It's all part of the documents itself that'll say if we're in good standing, after 10 years, it goes away. And that's the principal forgiveness. I consider that a grant, but it has to be booked as a loan in case we default on something, then they're gonna want money, right? The $9 million is looking like it's gonna be a 1.12% loan. We'll find out on the day that we close what the percent is.
I wish I could get money that cheap.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fantastic. That's this project has certainly turned out to be much more expensive than we originally intended, but not surprisingly, you're finding ways to draw that back down so that it isn't as hurtful as we thought it was going to be, even though it's a critically important project that we have to do.
And I would be remiss if I don't take an opportunity to thank the MDE staff and the Maryland Department of the Environment. There are a dozen people working on this financing package alone, and have just been working tirelessly for this project. They don't normally offer money for projects that are already under the works. It's the priority of the governor, it's a priority of the secretary, and they have been working overtime to try to make the square peg fit in a round hole with the help of the city and the city staff.
Well, it's wonderful. This will be a feather in their cap as well. It will. The novel approach to it. Certainly working out better for us than the fiber project did in terms of that part.
I'd say.
Okay. Any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll move on for a vote. All those in favor of adoption of ordinance number 2607, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it, and the ordinance is adopted. We'll move on to unfinished business. There is none. New business. There is none. So we will now move on to departmental reports specifics.
Thank you. I'd like, Happy New Year to everyone. Welcome back. Welcome to January 2026. I'm looking forward to a very productive and happy year. I'd like to start with the public works item since we still have McDaniel in the room. You may have noticed that at the intersection of West Main and Maryland Avenue, that we have a new sidewalk in place. We've talked about this now for solidly 4 years, but there is a new, not sidewalk, a new crosswalk in place that has the McDaniel logo in the middle of it. It's sort of brick red with the giant green M in the middle of it. And there are several other crosswalks that will be going in along West Main between Union and Pennsylvania and up Pennsylvania, as well as ways to encourage the students to walk specific paths that are lit and safe and have sidewalks on them, but also to connect the college with the city, which has been a goal in the strategic plan of the cities, as well as a goal of the president's for a long time. So we're excited to start to roll those out. If you want to take a look at that in your spare time, West Main and Maryland Avenue, it looks great.
We had businesses note that our freshmen are in town for their My Design courses, and we had businesses say they are seeing more students walk down than they were seeing before.
Oh, that's wonderful feedback.
Run More and were two of the companies that said that.
That's great. That, of course, is being funded by a grant with the Department of Housing and Community Development at the state level as a way to tie into the downtown business community. So that's great feedback that we're getting, that students are walking down to Main Street. That's the whole point of that. I want to take another opportunity to thank our staff. We had a couple of holidays over the past few weeks. We had a massive ice storm on the 26th of December, which was a day that the mayor and council gave the staff off as an administrative day. But we had almost the entire streets department and some other public works department come in. Lots of the police officers come in because we had this huge pileup on 140, 16-car pileup, as you all know. Our streets department came out and salted 140, which is not our jurisdiction. That's a responsibility of the state, but the state wasn't able to get out there, and we have staff who are going to help out in every way possible. So, and then the following week, during New Year's, we had, when a lot of people were off, we had a big-ish snowstorm, if you all recall. On New Year's Day, it snowed that day. So I just want to thank the teams who were planning to be off on those days and came in anyway, and to the police department who always work on the holidays, all shifts. And to the public works department, the water department and the wastewater department, they're working all shifts as well. So I just want to take an opportunity to thank those employees who don't always get recognized for not being able to take the same time off that the rest of us are able to enjoy. So to those listening, to those in the room, thank you so much for your hard work and for coming in on those days off. All right, let's get moving on to the other department heads. We'll start tonight with the Human Resources Department. Ms. Brown.
Good evening, everyone, and Happy New Year. I have no report.
Well, she may not have any reports. She had some very high numbers of recruitment in the month of December. So we'll be looking forward to getting some recruitment numbers to you. So, any questions for the HR department? Hearing none, we will move on to the Recreation Department. Ms. Gruber.
Good evening. Just a quick report from the Recreation and Parks Department. Staff is looking optimistically forward to our 2026 event season. And believe it or not, we are very busy in preparation for all of our early spring events. We are also happily managing many wait lists for our group fitness classes at the fitness center as the resolution rush is on. So we are happy to see the momentum continue on everyone's journey to health and wellness. And we are certainly pleased to be there to support them every step of the way.
You got an extra classes.
Yes. When we see excessive wait lists, then we'll offer a pop-up class to try to alleviate some of those people that feel like they can't get it. And so we're keeping our eye on that.
I didn't get to use that as an excuse not to.
You should wait for And additionally, we are also looking forward to the launch of the Wakefield Valley Event Center and making that available to our fantastic community and beyond, hopefully bringing in some tourism to the city of Westminster through that avenue and also to serve our valuable residents. And that concludes my report unless there are questions.
Mr. President,
Mr. Dayhoff.
I wonder if Ms. Gruber would consider providing us with some training for our .0 coming up. I gotta read it with a great deal of anxiety.
You are welcome to stop by the fitness center anytime and burn some rubber on our treadmills.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Gruber. We will move on to the Housing Department. Mr. Brown.
Good evening. Thank you. I just wanted to update the council on a couple of things. First, as of today, we have 699 families on our waiting list.
Wow.
And realistically, there's little chance that we're going to get to them anytime soon. So the department anticipates closing the waiting list by the end of this month. There will be a public notice issued so that everybody will know it, and then that the waiting list is closed. And the link that they use will work with IT to disable that link so that will not be getting inadvertent new applications after that point. So we just wanted to make the mayor and council aware of that. This concludes my report. I guess I'll answer any question that the mayor and council may have.
I have one. So how many vouchers do we manage overall?
We have a total of 297.
And what's the turnover annually on those roughly?
We don't get a lot of turnover.
So, I mean, even $6.99, they're just,
there's
no chance for me to get it.
It's slim to none, and Snell got on the bus.
Thank you. Ms. Imhoff. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, Mayor, go ahead.
So is that number just so large right now because it's early in the year?
No, ma'am, that's been a cumulative number. It's been a cumulative number since the last time we closed the waiting list it's been a year or two ago.
Yeah.
It's the right thing to do. There's no sense giving people hope or something. It's absolutely never gonna happen.
Yeah, there's a great need out there and then once people, get a voucher, and get comfortable in the community and the neighborhood that they're in, there's very little turnover.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mass.
Thank you. Any other questions for the housing department? Hearing none, we will move on to the IT department. Mr. Moore.
Good evening. Couple things to report. First is for the open council position. We did also have a new email address that send information in, please get information. And that's going to be clerk@westminstermd.gov. We're doing that so not one person is assigned that address. And if we have turnover or someone's off, it's not getting lost in the ether in the email system. The other things, we're getting ready for budget season. So we're starting that process again, looking at our numbers and our software and hardware. And lastly, we have an open position. So we have an opening right now for a help desk technician. So if anybody's interested or knows somebody, please check out our website and apply if you're interested. Our important, let's have any questions.
So instead of reaching out to Doug Barber's email address, which is DA Barber, if you have questions about the open applicant position, it's clerk@westminstermd.gov, which we'll put in the notice that we put out. Are there any questions for the IT director? Hearing none, we will move on to the planning department. Mr. Depot.
Good evening. On December 17th, the Planning and Zoning Commission approved site plan S25-6, 404 Malcolm Drive Medical Center. This was to construct a 22,000 square foot medical center and a 12,000 square foot building that could be used for office space or daycare center. Looks like it's most likely going to be a daycare facility. They also approved sign permit 2008 for the Carroll County Board of Elections. This is a request for a sign greater than 64 square feet, but less than 125. The Planning Commission approved its recommendation to the Mayor and Common Council for the Wakefield Valley Development Plan Amendment, DP 2401. So that will be soon to be scheduled for Mayor and Common Council for review. The Planning Commission also reviewed architectural elevations for the Willows Plan Development 9 zoning map amendment 2401. We got good feedback from the Planning Commission for the applicant to update some of those elevations that we hope to be back before the Planning Commission soon. The Board of Zoning Appeals January 6th and the Historic District Commission's January 7th meetings were canceled as there were no applications for the BZA or the HDC. And then the January 15th Planning and Zoning Commission meeting has been rescheduled to January 22nd. And at this time, the commission is tentatively scheduled to review site plan S2432, Westminster Elementary School, to construct a 3,592 square foot addition. And that completes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Depot. Are there any questions for the planning department? Hearing none, we will move on to the finance department. Ms. Rogers.
Thank you, Ms. Halls. Good evening and Happy New Year. Just a brief update from the finance department. As Mr. Moore has indicated, he's starting to look at his budget. On Friday, we kicked off the beginning of the fiscal year 27 budget process by sending out all the views to the budget managers to begin looking at. So we look forward to working with the finance committee and the full council and mayor and full council the upcoming months to present budget. That concludes my report.
Stay tuned. We've got meetings scheduled. Thank you, Ms. Rogers.
You're welcome.
All right, we'll wrap things up today. We've got Major Jones with us for the police department. Major?
Good evening, everyone. We are pleased to announce the hiring of 2 lateral police officers for 2 of our 3 vacant positions. Officer Schaaf started last Monday on January 5th and is currently attending a 5-week comparative compliance training at the Maryland Police Commission. Officer Schaaf brings over 25 years of experience from the United States Capitol Police. Second is Officer Burns, who starts tomorrow, January 13th. He brings over 20 years of experience from the Baltimore City Police Department.
This is good.
And that concludes my report, unless there's any questions.
Are there any questions for the police department? Mr. President, that concludes the departmental reports.
Thank you very much, Ms. Evans. Now we'll move on to citizens' comments. Final item on our agenda is citizens' comments, during which we invite the public to address the mayor and council on issues related to tonight's agenda or any other city matters. For those not attending this meeting, we will welcome your comments via email at comments@westminstermd.gov. All emailed comments will be shared with the mayor and council. Please include your address and phone number with your comments. We now will invite comments from those present this evening. This is an opportunity for the public to share their thoughts with the mayor and council. Our role at this point is to listen to your comments and respond appropriately after consulting with staff and each other. Is there anyone here this evening that wishes to be heard? Yes, ma'am. Please state your name and address.
My name is Debbie Palmer, and I'm talking to Lay. Because I notice people might be watching on YouTube or listening. I do have some enemies in this town, so if it's okay for you, I'd tell you I live off Green Street to be safe, for my safety.
Okay.
I saw the January 6th zoning meeting was canceled, and it was containing to the ordinance 907 about the rooming houses. When I remember that from previous years, I was in tears on January 1st, and I've been crying off and on because one of the rooming houses that I'm begging you guys not to try to shut down is James Manor, because I lived there from 2008 to 2019. And Rick does a really good job of trying to keep people in there that's, decent. If they don't, he does kick them out, because I've actually seen how he has repaired it and kept, they'll keep on the property and try to keep decent people in there. And it really would break my heart if you guys, let him shut that manor. And that's how I feel. And the other thing is, I do know Mr. Brown, because I do have a HUD certificate now, so too bad that I couldn't say that was HUD certificate. But that was like, I was there for like a year, and it would break my heart. Make him shut down.
Well, thank you very much, ma'am. Appreciate your comments. Is there anyone else this evening that would like to be heard? Okay, hearing none. That concludes our agenda and the meeting. Our next regular meeting will be Monday, January 26th, 2026. And with that, and without objection, we are adjourned.